America, and welcome to Invent America, because America invents.
This episode of Invent America TV is brought to you by America's Inventor Lady and Home Talk USA. Home Talk is a proud member of the King's Broadcasting Network and has been bringing to you the best of America's home-based product innovation since 1998. This segment of Invent America TV is brought to you by the law offices of R.P. Baraska. RPB law offices have been bringing corporate-level legal expertise to the independent inventor community for more than 20 years. For all your inventing legal needs, trust rpblawoffices.com.
Our first guest today is Al Mango. He has got this amazing product. We have all used it, and we just didn't know that Al was the inventor of it. And as I said, my first guest today is Al Mango with MangoRock. You are not a rock band, correct, Al?
Correct.
So tell everybody a little bit about yourself, Al. You know, you were an artist. You still are an artist, but give us a little bit about your background.
Well, Rita, I started out basically as just a geeky kid that loved to draw. I wanted to be a Marvel Comics artist years ago. And my father actually started to teach me concrete. We were South Jersey, Italian guy. He said, you got to learn concrete. You just got to learn concrete. So we started doing steps for the house and everything else. And we built our first step together. And I started realizing I could use that knowledge and begin to use my artistic knowledge and bring them together. And that's when I began to realize that there would be a market for artistic concrete.
Well, you know, I don't think most of us think of concrete as being artistic. So, you know, good for you. And, you know, as an inventor of the process, correct? You invented the process, and that's what your patents are on.
Correct.
All right. So as you know, kind of transition from, you know, making steps and sidewalks with your dad into the art world of concrete, you ended up working for Universal Studios in Florida?
I did.
What were you doing? Tell everybody. It's like, you know, like I said, we've all seen your products everywhere. What are they seeing? How would they say, oh my God, Al did that?
Well, while I was they hired me to basically become a scenic artist. I moved from there to be a scenic supervisor, and I started developing new techniques in paint, concrete, and then I moved from concrete into lightweight concrete or lightweight foam with polymer mesh, and moved from just building the entire thing out of concrete into taking lightweight faux rock and developed it with a polymer mesh. And I started building rocks for Chevrolet, for Nissan, for Toyota, for Ford. And I used the retaining walls built of a lightweight EPS foam and basically put them all together, and now you have rocks all over the country that can hold 50,000 pounds.
Wow. Well, you know, for our listeners out there, when you drive by a car dealership and you see a display out there that's got, you know, a vehicle up on a bunch of rocks, those rocks were Al's invention. That's where his technology is. Correct, Al?
Correct.
It's got to be a real high to drive by and say, wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I started, now we were talking about Michael being a Cajun. I actually built the faux rock around the elephant fountain at the Audubon Zoo in New Orleans.
Cool.
And I started developing the lightweight foam right there when I sculpted the entire right shoulder of the elephant, the fountain, and the baby elephants for the Audubon Zoo.
Wow. So, you know, how how do you, is it that people just see you, different companies, and they've got this imagination saying, "Oh, we need some rocks, let's call Al." How does that work for you?
Well, years ago, I was living in South Carolina, and someone had heard that I was doing a lot of waterfalls, those lightweight waterfalls that I developed. And a gentleman asked me if I would build a rock for a dealership in Greenville, South Carolina. So I just built this beautiful rock. It was the Dick Smith Automotive Group, and it was a gentleman by the name of Bill Goodwin, and very wonderful man, but very skeptical. And so he simply said to me, he said, I don't know you. And I came right, he was from New York. He's in New York. He said, I don't know you. And I said, I don't know you. And you're a car dealer. Guy writes me a $10,000 check right there within 5 minutes. And so I built this huge rock for Dick Smith Auto Group, and it's still in existence today, and went by, and the paint job is still right there. I built a huge boulder that covered over the all the plumbing and everything of the rock, because we had waterfalls and everything else. And it was lightweight foam. Someone actually gave me all this massive amounts of foam, and so I started using it, building rocks, building the ram's head for the Jeep Dodge Chrysler Ram. Built the Ark of the Covenant. That got me into Paramount Studios replica, and just started doing my artwork.
Well, that's, it's an amazing story that you've got, that, you know, you don't even have to do, a sales pitch for this. People just drive by and see it. And, I'm sure that different varieties of social media, where somebody goes out and takes a picture now and they post it and they go, "Oh, we need one of those in our yard," or "We need one of those in the parking lot." That you kind of sell yourself.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Well, Dollywood saw that rock in South Carolina, and they asked
Yeah.
me to build. I built a 150-foot long rock that was 34 feet high. It was
Wow.
huge. It was a
Wow.
cliff, basically, for the mystery mine.
Well, you're going to stick with us. We're going to have some more questions for you when we get back. Right now,
Okay.
we are going to run off and pay some bills, everybody. But I want to let you know, if you know anybody out there who's working on a project and they need a good service provider, if they've got questions about maybe being an inventor but don't really know, have them get in touch. We answer questions all the time, no charge. We want to help everybody get it out there. And if you're working on something and you want to be on the radio, it's free. Have them get in touch. But stick with us, everybody. We will be right back with MangoRock.
This segment of Invent America TV is brought to you by SearchQuest Patent Search. SearchQuest provides for a comprehensive patent search that searches the entire world and not just the U.S. Patent Office. Make sure that before you spend those big bucks having a patent written, you've done your due diligence by getting a comprehensive patent search. Use SearchQuestPatents.com for all your patent search needs. They scour the world for you.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for being with us today. And this is Invent America, because America invents. We have been solving the problems of this country for centuries now, and we will continue to do so. All right, so we are here talking with a great inventor, Al Mango, and he has got a product that we have all seen one way or another out there. But Al, I am sure that you have just had some fun stories over the years about people suggesting things. Mango's your last name, but when you put MangoRock in there, it sounds like it's a really cool song, dessert, or dance.
That's what happened. Was the Orlando Sentinel came out to do an article at a dealership that I was building. I was building a huge, like 80-foot long rock that was 12 feet high. and my company's name was Terracina. And the guy looks at me and he says, "Why are you calling him Terracina?" And I said, "Well, it means in Latin, it means land scenes." He said, "Why don't you name them MangoRocks?" And I changed the name of my company. It doubled the next year.
I am sure it did, because MangoRock just, it sounds so much fun. And, I've had inventors that have named, products, and I'm thinking, why that? Nobody knows to Google that. And so we'll think about a tagline or changing the name. It's like when I tell people, when they're saying about the name, it's like, what would someone Google to find you? And I am sure that they Google rocks to find you, Al.
Yeah, they usually do like fake rocks, artificial rock, or faux rock. And they do faux rock or fake rocks or artificial rock for trucks and cars and SUVs. And I'm number one in Google on that. So
I am sure you are. It is a valuable spot to be in. So when you go about your process, I mean, we're looking at, made in America. So your product is made here, but walk us through a little bit about the process. You have everything trucked into a location, and then you say, pour this much into a container and stir it up. What goes into it?
well, I started out and actually it was Marine Chevrolet from Jacksonville, North Carolina, the home of Camp Lejeune. Uh, they called me up and they said, "We want you to build a lightweight faux rock retaining wall and then make it so that we can put, 500, I'm sorry, about 80,000 pounds of vehicles on top."
Wow.
So huge retaining wall. And in the retaining wall, I built a lightweight bow tie, the Chevy bow tie, the Chevrolet, so that it actually could glow in the night. Well, we had people coming in. Every Marine at the base was coming through the dealership lot because they lit it up, and it was beautiful, beautiful rock. And they still stay in touch with me about that. Wonderful people. I actually was hand painting it, the area around the bow tie, and a gentleman pulls up, and we're talking. He's a Marine. I have a deep respect for the American Marine because my uncles were all Marine. My father was Navy. My uncles were Marines, and he's talking with me, and I'm hand painting. He says, "I love this Silverado," and I said, "Hold on." I go inside. I said, "There's a guy out here that wants to buy this Silverado that's on the top of the rock." He walks out and sells it within 5 minutes.
Wow. Did he
It's a
drive it
focus.
off the top of the rock?
He had somebody else. Yeah. I mean, after storming the beaches of Saipan, I don't think he wanted to mess with.
Driving off Al's rock.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah. So when you get orders that Al, in another country, so you then you go, you kind of scope it out and see what's going on, and then you order the product to make the rock. You're the main artist. Are you sketching this out, before you go and mock it up?
Yes. The lightweight displays, and you could, I mean, with a foam, a 2 pound, what's called EPS foam, with polymer mesh, and some of the materials I use, some of the materials were used in the dinosaur bones at Jurassic Park.
Wow.
Things called Flexirock and flexible cement and everything else. I've used fiberglass and stuff, but I can build them in America. I can build them in the United States, ship them anywhere. I just came back from the Middle East. I went to Cairo, Egypt. I went to Doha, Qatar. They flew me first class, which was not too bad.
Yeah.
I think they were interested. And then I went to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. All I did was talk. All I did was share. Everyone's interested. Everyone's interested in MangoRock. And then I went also to Milano and talked with Campari about my lightweight grottos for the marketing of their wine cellars and stuff like that.
All right, I've got to ask you a personal question, Al. Did you ever ship any of those dinosaurs to Dinosaur Park in Rapid City, South Dakota?
No, I didn't. But you know what? I've done some dinosaurs.
Well, that's where I grew up. I spent a lot of time as a kid up there, and I know they replaced those dinosaurs. Man, next time, and my nephew lives right below the mountain. I'm gonna send them your name and say next time you have a dinosaur done, you need to use some MangoRock out there.
Yes. One of the best things to make dinosaur bones, believe it or not, is fiberglass. Is Bondo that you would use for Bondo in a car
Huh.
for
So
repair.
you're worldwide in your scope now. So when somebody goes to you talked about Dollywood. What are some of the other family theme parks where somebody would go and see your products, your artwork,
Kings,
your masterpiece, their masterpieces?
oh, Kings Dominion in north of Richmond, Virginia, Doswell, Virginia. I did the Tomb Raider ride. Now that was sold out. It was sold from Paramount Studios, and it became part of the Sandusky group. So they don't call it Tomb Raider anymore, but I've got everything, all the props there I built. Then I came to Dollywood and also did Popeye's Toon Lagoon at Universal Studios Islands of Adventure.
Okay. So that is so cool. I just find it fascinating, that there are inventors out there like yourself who, they do these huge projects and everybody sees them, whether you're driving by a dealership or you're going to a theme park with your family. Everybody sees them and they go, "Oh, isn't that cool?" But we never know where they started from. And in
Correct.
your case, they started from a man that was doing sidewalks with his dad, and going, "I really don't want to do sidewalks, Dad. I want to do something else." But
Yes.
you paid honor to your dad by taking the technology and making it bigger than sidewalks.
Well, actually, my father was a great concrete guy. He was absolutely a genius, and my mother was an incredible artist. So I kind of merged them.
You did. You did. Well, we are going to take a quick break. And when we get back, we'll finish up with Al and his story. And I want to let everyone know if you are out there and you've got a product, let us know because we would love to get you on the radio. We would love to hear more about your story. And we would like to tell all of America about the product that you are selling, so that they know what problem you have solved. So stick with us, America, and we are going to share with you some more of that story. If you're an inventor or you know an inventor out there who would just like to be able to have a conversation with other inventors, join the Inventors Roundtable. It's free. The meetings are virtual, so you can be anywhere in America and talk to another inventor. And for a lot of folks out there, understanding the process, being able to ask questions, getting good service provider information is critical to the inventing process. So, got questions? Want to join? It's free. inventorsroundtable.org. Hello, America, and thank you so much for being with us this afternoon as we present to you Al Mango with MangoRock, incredible inventor, wonderful story. So, Al, it has been wonderful to have you with us today and tell the story and all the different travels. But I find it fascinating that you took the best of your dad and the best of your mom and honored both of them by combining your technology into a new product.
Well, they taught us to innovate. My father had the philosophy: you don't buy your kids massive amounts of toys. You let them experiment. So we were always working on something. Tree houses, underground forts. Instead of buying toys for us, they would buy us things to stimulate our minds. Shovels which stimulated
Yeah.
our
I had a friend ask me the other day, "What kind of vitamins are you on? You look so strong and fit." And I said it's called a weed whacker. Every day we go out with a weed whacker and we cut something down. It keeps me fit. Oh shoot. So it's what's next, Al? Where you're looking at building the next rock. What's next?
Well, I'll be honest with you. The lightweight, the future for MangoRock is not with massive amounts of concrete. It's lightweight. It's development of harder and more flexible coatings, such as flex rock, and you can literally ship it anywhere in the world and drive on it. And on my website, mangorock.com, you can see where I've actually developed things for Nissan that you can ship them in for shows and everything else, and drive right on them. It will hold 50,000 pounds because it does.
Well, and I've been to your website a couple of times and looked at the incredible displays that you've got there and the equipment that is sitting on them. It's impressive and it's massive. And so being able to create something that you can easily ship, so it allows you still to have control of that intellectual property, because that's important. And just, it makes a big difference for you to be able to make it here and ship it than to have to go there, order all the materials. Installation is one thing. Starting from scratch is something completely different.
Well, Rita, let me interject here, but Rita, we all know that shipping costs, weight and shipping costs. So just the point of him cutting that part of the equation out to make it cheaper to ship because his material is lighter, man, that's more than half the battle, to be honest with you, to make it affordable, because it will make sense if, so many technologies out there can be developed, but they have to figure out how to ship it, and then the shipping costs will just kill you. It just makes it not feasible. So Al, man, kudos to you to figure it out, just on the shipping part of that. You know what I'm saying?
Thank
you. Yeah.
Thank
you. Yeah.
So where are we going to see your next big project? Not the technology, but what's coming? Where are you on the road to next?
I've got a lot of movement right now in Florida. I was talking with a Chevy dealership in Central Florida and a Ford dealership also 20 miles away from each other. They're very interested. The Middle East is opening up to me big time, and I can't do work in the Middle East in the summer, but I can do it in the winter. When I was in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia in January, and in Qatar, mid-January, it was perfect weather. Most of the dealerships in the Middle East are huge under roof. Because believe me when I say this, when I went to Dubai in 2016, 128 degrees, and It was just too hot.
Oh yeah, no kidding. I can understand why everything is indoors there with air conditioning.
Correct.
So, it's been wonderful to have you, Al. You are certainly, you're not doing the basic consumer product, and yet the basic consumer sees you probably on a regular basis. So the next time you're out there, American, you drive by and you see a big rock display, you can say, thanks, Al. We're really, really glad that you're doing this.
Yeah.
So
thank you very much.
Well, it's been a pleasure to meet you, and thank you for reaching out, and a pleasure to hear your story online, and congratulations for everything that you do. I know that, it's always interesting to meet Americans who are manufacturing here and, keeping everything here. That's a big deal these days.
It is.
So what kind of challenges have you run into, Al?
Basically just trying to deal with car dealerships are notorious for being very, I guess you could say, difficult. And I'm trying to present to them artwork, and they're saying, no, we want the functionality of it. But I usually work through it, and I have built some massive things around the country. Oklahoma,
Wow.
80 foot, 90 foot, 12 feet high, all over the state, all over California. I've got them in Elk Grove, California, Toyota. I've got 3 huge displays at Palm Springs Ford. Bill Ford comes by once a week and looks at my rocks.
Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Well, it's exciting. And next time I see a big display, I'll wave when I go by. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us today. We will be back next week with more stories on getting products from mine to market. We will have new inventors and industry experts. So join us and have a wonderful week.